The Raiders' 2026 roster looks completely different, and I need you to understand the magnitude of that right now. 3 stories dropped today that, taken together, paint a crystal clear picture of what this front office is building. First, Spytek put together a 90-man roster where open battles are going to decide the future of this franchise. Second, the GM went on TV to defend a draft pick the entire league called a reach, and his argument is way more solid than you think. Third, our future quarterback made a move no rookie had to make, but one that says everything about the kind of man who just arrived in Las Vegas. Buckle up and smash that like button, because what I'm about to tell you changes everything for the Raiders. Let me give it to you straight. The Raiders are considerably better heading into 2026 than they were at this same point last year. That's not me being a homer. That's what a full 90-man roster breakdown is telling us right now. And when I say better, I'm not talking about vibe or preseason hype. I'm talking position by position, head to head, and the results are legitimately surprising. But here's the part nobody's talking about. The open competitions on this roster are a complete minefield. Let's start with what's bugging me the most, the offensive line. The big question is who locks down both guard spots. Trey Zune, the 3rd-round pick, is in the mix. Spencer Burford brings 38 career starts to the table. And Jordan Meredith, who was flat out bad at center last year, actually looked solid at guard back in 2024. So is this chaos or depth? Honestly, both at the same time. And get this, Kirk Cousins is your Week 1 starter, but Fernando Mendoza is expected to take over the job as the season progresses. That tells you everything about what Spytek and Kubiak are really doing here. Cousins is the bridge, Mendoza is the destination. And once you see it that way, the whole roster construction makes perfect sense. On offense, Ashton Jeanty comes in as the clear-cut starting running back, and the addition of Mike Washington Jr. as his immediate backup is going to make Jeanty's life so much easier. Dude earned that kind of support. He came in as one of the most exciting draft bets in years, and now he's actually got real help behind him. On defense, the most explosive question mark is at cornerback. Between Decamerion Richardson, Greedy Vance, and rookies Jermod McCoy and Hezekiah Masses, one of those guys probably doesn't make the final 53-man roster. And if McCoy isn't healthy, the whole equation flips. This is a ticking time bomb. The front office is going to have to make a painful decision when cuts come around. My take? Spytek built this roster with real depth for the first time in years. The fact that picking 53 is hard right now isn't a problem. It's a luxury this franchise hasn't had in a long time. That's a sign the rebuild is heading in the right direction. If you thought the drama stopped there, hold on tight. The Raiders swung big on day 3 of the draft by selecting Jermod McCoy, and the Tennessee cornerback is entering the league with a serious knee injury that had the entire analyst community screaming, risky move. This guy had first-round talent, maybe top 10, and he fell all the way to the 4th round. That doesn't just happen. But today, John Spytek went on Up and Adams and didn't backpedal. He went on offense. The GM made it clear that this was a thorough, deliberate process, discussed internally for weeks, even months, and that the trust they have in their medical staff was the deciding factor in pulling the trigger. Now let's keep it real. This plays out in one of 2 completely opposite directions. Scenario 1. Spytek has inside information on McCoy's knee that nobody else in the league had access to. He snagged an elite talent at a massive discount, and he looks like an absolute genius in 2 years. Scenario 2. The front office fell in love with the upside, ignored the red flags, and they're stuck eating a wasted pick. What pushes me towards scenario 1? In 2024, his first season at Tennessee, McCoy hauled in 4 interceptions, broke up 7 passes, and he had already shown out at Oregon State the year before, with 2 picks and 7 more pass deflections. When this guy is healthy, he's a difference maker, the kind of player who elevates an entire secondary. And context matters here. The cornerback room already has a massive open competition, so McCoy doesn't need to be ready for Week 1. He's got time to rehab, learn the system, and show up at exactly the right moment. If Spytek was factoring all of that in when he made the call, and everything points to yes, then this is a mid-range move with a sky-high ceiling. Bottom line, the GM didn't go on national TV out of obligation. He went because he believes. And when a GM gets in front of a camera to defend a specific pick with that level of detail and conviction, it usually means he knows something the rest of us don't yet. I'm trusting the process, but I will be holding him accountable for the result. All right, guys, I'm going to be straight with you. This next story looks small in the headline, but once you understand what it actually means, it tells you more about the Raiders' future than any X's and O's breakdown ever could. Fernando Mendoza wanted to wear number 15 in the NFL, and instead of just claiming the number, he personally reached out to franchise legend Tom Flores for his blessing before putting it on. Flores quarterbacked the Raiders to a Super Bowl title wearing that same number. Here's the detail that turns this from a feel-good moment into a genuinely important story. The Raiders don't officially retire numbers, and plenty of players have worn number 15 since Flores. Mendoza had absolutely zero obligation to ask anyone for anything. He chose to do it anyway, on his own. That's character. That's emotional intelligence. And in an NFL world where ego and money tear locker rooms apart, a rookie who moves like that is worth his weight in gold. Mendoza called Flores' blessing an eternal blessing and said he's going to carry a commitment to excellence every single day to honor the legacy of that number. You might think that sounds rehearsed. It's not. This guy has a track record of doing the right thing consistently that's nearly impossible to fake. And Flores' response? The Raiders legend said Mendoza deserves the blessing, and then dropped this line: if the rookie isn't the real deal, then he himself doesn't know what he's talking about anymore. When Tom Flores puts his own reputation on the line for a rookie, that's not politeness. That's conviction. Raider Nation, I've been following this team for years. I've seen high-hyper prospects flame out in 2 seasons. I've seen under-the-radar guys become the soul of a franchise. And what almost always separates those 2 outcomes isn't raw talent, it's mindset. Mendoza is already showing us, before he's taken a single NFL snap, that he understands what it means to wear that silver and black. Get this locked in your head. This isn't just the Raiders' quarterback of the future. This is the kind of leader this franchise has been desperately missing for way too long. Quick recap. The Raiders have their most competitive roster in years, with open battles that are going to shape the direction of this franchise. Spytek hit the airwaves to back up a high-stakes cornerback gamble, and his argument actually holds up. And the future starting quarterback showed up doing what no rookie does. He respected the history before even starting to write his own. Now I need your take in the comments. Jermod McCoy, front office genius, or a move that's going to cost this team down the road? Drop your answer below. See you in the next one. Raider Nation, always.